and welcome to Hot Money on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. This is the show which gets you a complete wrap of all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. I'm Darshan Mehta. Let's welcome our experts and joining us on the show now are Gaurav Bissa of LKP Securities, technical analyst and mentor NS Fidai, and Kunal Rambhia of The Streets. Before we begin the discussion with our analyst, we have Yash Upadhyay, who is standing by with a chart on OBC. Good afternoon, Yash. What does the chart indicate?
Good afternoon, Darshan. So, Oriental Bank of Commerce is under pressure in today's day of trade, and on the back of that, we are seeing a bearish engulfing pattern form on the charts now. A couple of days prior, we have seen some amount of profit taking in these PSU banks. As you could see on the daily price chart, there have been moves on the downside. Today too, the move has been quite sharp, as a result of which there's a large red candle forming on the daily charts, which is suggesting that there could be some amount of pressure, at least in the near term, when it comes to Oriental Bank of Commerce.
Yes, what is the historical trend whenever this pattern has happened? What's the average return?
So Darshan, 3 out of the last 5 times that this has actually given a bearish engulfing pattern, the returns have been close to 9.5% over the next 1 month.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on OBC. Gaurav, what's the sense? OBC 111. What are you guessing on this? What are you seeing on this, in fact?
Well, if you look at the weekly charts, it's just about trading near the 200 weekly average that comes around levels of 115. So as long as it does not cross those levels, we may see some profit booking coming in. I would not play for a very deeper targets, for the reason that it has given a breakout, a decent breakout, and it has been holding on to breakout levels that comes around levels of 104, 105. So one can play for any dip towards 105, 106. But beyond that, I think we can see some more jump coming from those levels. I would not play for targets beyond that.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. NS, what's the sense that you having on OBC?
Well, I believe also, I agree with Gaurav somehow, but I see a bit downside there up to 102. So one can buy around 100, 102. I would not be going short right on this stock, but I would prefer to buy on dips, seriously.
Okay, so that's the strategy again that's coming in on buy on dips. And Kunal, what's the sense on OBC?
Yeah, Darshan, the way we discussed in past few sessions, PSU banks are looking clearly bottoming out kind of candidates. Certainly, there was a fantastic breakout of cup and handle formation near to 105 mark. So the way Gaurav and NS said, near to 105, we can think of actually going long rather than shorting at this level.
Okay, so that's the sense. I think while the Bloomberg indicates that there could be more potential downside, our experts believe that the downside pretty much seems limited at this point of time, and at lower levels OBC should be accumulated. But let's begin the discussion with our analyst now. We have Gaurav Bissa, who has a chart. Let's pull up the chart. Gaurav, if you can join me. The chart is Hero MotoCorp. Autos have not been doing well. Is the auto sector up for an upgrade? What's the sense? Why are you bullish on Hero MotoCorp?
Now, first and foremost, if you talk about the auto space, it has not been doing good, but April has been a decent month so far, and it has been one of the best performers as far as the large indices are concerned, sector indices are concerned. If you look at Hero Motor, it has a trendline support as well. If you draw a trendline from here, from this particular low, if you connect the low over here, the support comes around levels of 2400, 2450, somewhere around those levels. And it has found some amount of support over here. If you look at these levels, 2500, it is not breaching these levels. So this is a monthly chart. The low of these 3 candles comes around the same level. So sure. I would not call it as a double bottom sort of, because for that you need to cross a swing high. But for now, it looks that 2500 is acting as an immediate support on a very strong basis. Now, this is a pattern, harmonic pattern. We have discussed about this in our earlier interactions as well. This is a bullish Cypher pattern. What this generally means that from here, if these levels are sustained, we can see a strong up move. It can go towards the level of 3500 also, but that would be a year-long target. Okay. For next a month or two, one can keep a stop loss of 2400, 2450. On the upside, 2800, 2900 is what I would be looking out for.
What about the other parameters that you've selected? Is there some trend that also indicates that there is buying activity that's happening?
These don't generally indicate the buying activity, but the only point is that the RSI is not falling too much. It's also found a support. This generally again leads to the postulate that we may see some stability, and that can be followed by a fresh amount of upside. We are not seeing very aggressive positions in the futures market, and that is the reason why we are not seeing a very sharp up move coming in. Yes, it has been up by 2 or 3% in last couple of days, but then again it is negligible with the kind of fall that we have seen from here. So this similar kind of pattern was seen in Maruti when it was trading at levels of 6500 550 around those levels, and we have seen a strong bounce coming from those levels. Similarly, as expected, we can see a very strong bounce coming in the name, and it can go towards the level of 3,000.
So it's 2620 right now, Hero MotoCorp. Since it's more like a positional trade, what would your advice be to someone who wants to take a trade? Should they buy now? Should they buy at a lower level? Should they average it out? Or should they buy once a potential breakout happens?
I'm not an advocate of averaging, because when you buy a stock which is following the average, your loss will always be there. But yes, one should buy at these levels, not the entire quantity, for the reason that I always keep a very strict stop losses, and that is the most important thing in the market. How your stop losses will define how you fare in the market. So on that front, you buy partial quantity over here, and you get any dip towards 25.50, you buy, because markets are going to be a little bit volatile. You can get the stock again at levels of 2550. You can buy the rest amount of quantity. Do not average, just buy half quantity at the prices which are prevailing right now, and buy on dips, and then you can play for targets of 2900, 3000 levels.
Okay, many thanks for that, Gaurav. So it's a bullish call that's coming in on Hero MotoCorp. NS, would you be bullish on Hero MotoCorp?
I would agree with Gaurav up to the on the longer term chart, but on extreme short term, I would not be happy with holding the stock below 2570.
Okay.
And on the upside, I see it going up to 2740 in extreme short term. So people who would like to buy the stock should keep a stop loss at just below 2570 and can expect a target of 2740.
This is for the short term trade.
Extreme short term.
Okay, what about you, Kunal?
So if I'm looking at the positional bet, right from 2013 when the stock was at around 1450, from there it went up to 4000. If you take the retracement of that entire rally, 61.8% comes to 2500 where the stock halted. If I look at the weekly RSI, positive divergences are coming up, the falling wedge formation is going on, but the formation is still underway. So extreme short term, yes, you can think of buying at present level, keep the stop loss of 2550, expect the stock to reach 2800. But certainly the trend reversal will come about 2800 to 2825.
Okay, so I think that's the view that's coming in. I think what our guests are indicating that short term be cautious. You can just trade with strict stop losses, but I think the potential here is more on the long term, where levels of 2800 to even more than 3000 are being spoken about. So that's the first stock on Hero MotoCorp. NS Fidai has a chart on Eicher Motors. So auto continues to rule the pack. Eicher has been falling significantly ever since it came out with big set of numbers. The only green that it came out was when they announced that Vinod Dasari will be the CEO of Royal Enfield. But after that also, there seems to be a little bit of selling that's come in. But NS, what's your logic here?
Like I have gone with very simple logic with technicals. Basically, it's about higher bottom. So see this 1, 2, and 3, and they're all coinciding almost on this trend line. Okay. I would have preferred to see a little bit more dip to buy nearer to the trend line, but anyways, now it has given a breakout today above this trend line. So you can expect it to go up to 21,150 to 21,450 on the higher side. And on the bottom, if you can buy nearer to 19,850, that would be great thing to do. And keep a stop loss just 100 rupee below that. 19,750 should be good.
So this is a long term bet or a short term?
This is extreme short term bet. So here I'm expecting 21,150, 21,450 only. I'm not expecting, this would be a target which can happen, but I'm not betting on this right now around 22,700. I'm betting on 21,450 where it has seen earlier the resistance in this zone.
Okay.
So I'm looking at trading bet right now.
Okay, it's a trading bet thing, but one should buy at this point only.
One can buy now, and one can keep an provision to add on dips also.
What's the strict stop loss for this?
I have already it is 19,750 you should keep, and on the bottoms you can buy near 19,850.
Okay, many thanks for that, NS. Kunal, Eicher Motors, what's your call?
So now on monthly chart, if I try to look at the retracement, it has taken 78.6% retracement, which is fantastic. On daily chart, right from 2018 mid till now, the stock is under curve formation. So likewise, what NS highlighted, it can be added on decline. It can be a best stock unless it breaches 20,000 or say 19,750 on the lower side. Keep adding on every decline. Once it manages to go above say 22,000, it can be a complete turnaround.
Okay, what about you, Gaurav? What's your sense on Eicher Motors?
I'm positive at these levels. I would wait for any dip towards 20,500, would make it more lucrative as far as trading is concerned. If somebody wants to ask for a positional view, this also has a harmonic pattern. It's in the process. I cannot comment. I will not predict the pattern being formed, but I don't see it falling significantly from here. It might go towards 19,500 as my fellow friend over here said, but that would be a very fantastic level to add at those levels. At these levels, around 20,500, keep a stop loss of 19,900 and and on the upside, I agree with Anas with the targets that he mentioned.
Okay, so that's the sense. I think it's a short-term target that's coming in, but if comes below 20,000 level, that's the level that you need to start accumulating Eicher Motors. And again, let's take with auto. We have Maruti this time around, and Kunal this time has a strategy on Maruti. So I think auto is one sector that all of us need to watch out for, because the buy calls are coming in on the auto sector. Yes, it's a complicated chart, but
right.
Yeah.
So there are many designs which are made on the chart for time being. Now try to look at the the moving averages first of all. There is a 200 weeks exponential moving average. The Maruti has always taken support on the weekly chart of it. Okay, we saw double top being formed near to 10,000 mark, and after 10,000 mark the stock started falling. It actually took the support of those 200 weeks exponential moving average 3 times. The interesting pattern which was getting formed here was the falling triangle kind of formation. So which has a lower tops and equal bottoms. The chances of lower breakdowns are very high. But first time what we saw was after the third bottom, RSI was making the positive divergences, and the stock has managed to surpass this level on the higher side. If I look, so here is the pattern. Here is the symmetrical triangle, and near to the breakout, and look at the prices making equal 3 bottoms, but RSI is making higher bottoms. Coming back on the chart, now 7,200 is the level where the Bollinger Bands breakout is also coming. The downtrend is also getting reversed, and exponential moving average on the weekly chart is forming the support. Keeping all things in mind and the way auto sector, the sales figures have come up, I think this stock is poised for the complete turnaround.
Okay, so it's at 7,100.
So, so presently 7,100, it's a best buy here itself. If someone wants to go for a tactical trade, wait for the breakout of 7,200 on the higher side, which is the mid of Bollinger Bands. Expect the stock to reach for 7,800, which is the high of this. I am expecting the stock to reach 8,500, which is the top of this level.
Okay, and in what's the time frame?
So I expect the same to come in say couple of months, maybe 2 months time.
Okay, and what are these percentages that you have highlighted?
So the percentages is that right from the bottom of 3,200, the stock went to 10,000 levels. The retracement of that is coming to 50%. That 50% is also 6,500. So there are multiple things which are coming at 6,500.
Okay, so you're bullish on Maruti. Thank you so much for that, Kunal. Gaurav, 7,100, Maruti, what's your sense? You also spoke about Maruti earlier. What's the sense?
When we spoke, it was more about 2 patterns being formed. One was a bullish Gartley that we saw on daily charts, and also there was a bullish ABCD harmonic pattern that we saw at levels of 6,550 odd, and it has already seen about 10% jump from those levels. 7,200 has been the Achilles heel if you look at the past performance in the chart. So I would recommend buying above levels of 7,200, in which case the targets of 7,700, 7,800, what Kunal mentioned, can be hit upon. At 7,100, I would not be skeptical, but I would wait for a breakout to happen. Then it will give more degree of confidence.
Okay, what about you, NS? Would you wait for it, or would you also look for
I am looking out for a little dip up to 6,800, 6,850. That would be the area one should actually try to accumulate the stock. And on the upside, it needs to cross 7,250. If it does that, then maybe you can see around 7,500 possibility. But right now, I am looking at multiple tops in this area, and I believe there is some possibility in extreme short term that you can get it around 6,800 also.
Okay, so that's the sense that you're getting in on Maruti. I think we need to watch out for levels of 7,200 to 7,250, which are the breakout levels that have come in. And if that is taken out, potentially 7,500 to 7,800 is something that you can see on Maruti. The stock absolutely flat in today's trade. So that's the first round. Let's begin with the second round of stock. Gaurav has a buy call on sale this time around. Gaurav, I think it's been a while since metals was again in focus, and in metals also sale, which has been underperforming. You believe that the outperformance will happen? Yeah,
I do feel that this time it can outperform the other players. We have been talking about names like Tata Steel, Vedanta, maybe Hindustan Zinc at times, Jindal Steel and Power. This is one name that has not been on the radar for a lot of people, including analysts like me. But if you look at the consolidation, this has been a good consolidation. So visually, you can see the stock has been coming out of the consolidation. There's a huge area that it can cover. It can go towards 70 as well. This particular pattern, we call it as a bullish reversal pattern. It's called as inverse head and shoulder pattern. It's a bullish reversal pattern. The efficacy is very strong when it forms around bottom. Now, it's very difficult to say what is the bottom price, but if you look at the long-term charts also, it's forming a rounding bottom formation. This is a daily chart. If you look at weekly or monthly, you'll see that it's forming a rounding bottom formation as well. It's given a breakout. So if the current levels are sustained, we can say, and look at the volumes also quite strong. So if the current levels are sustain, we can expect levels of 65 sort of coming in the name, and that should not take too long. It can be around by end of this month.
Okay, so what's the strategy? It's at 59 right now. What should one do? Should they buy now? Should they wait for a decline, or should they buy after a breakout or something is here?
It's moved up a little bit, so either you wait around levels of 58 or you buy at the current prices. As I mentioned in the previous recommendation as well, you can buy a partial quantity over the current price. You wait for a dip towards 58 or 57.5. Keep a stop loss of 53, 54. On the upside, 64 to 65 is what I would be looking out for.
Is this a very short-term trade?
This is a very short term, because this generally leads to a very quick move. If it has to work, it will work in a very quick manner.
If someone's looking to take a positional trade, can you see levels of 80, 90, which were there earlier? Is it possible for that sale to happen, come back to those levels?
On this pattern, it is difficult, because generally we play this particular range will be the first target. So it is around 50 and above is 58. So 8 rupees. It comes around 65 or so. So that would be the first target. And if this particular area is taken into consideration, that again would come around levels of 70, 72. So 80 would be difficult on this pattern. But eventually, if you're talking about rounding bottom formation, these are long-term patterns, and then yes, it can go towards those levels as well.
Okay, many thanks for that, Gaurav. Kunal, sale at 59 rupees. What should one do?
So, on 14th of March, we had a discussion about sale on monthly chart, where it was trading at around 52, and the call was given as buy on decline near to 48 or at the present level also. And from that, the stock has managed to reach 60 mark. It's exactly moving as per expectations. For short term, we can expect some kind of retracement, because the stock is near to 200 days daily moving average. But yeah, certainly it's a decline, buy on dip kind of stock. I'm expecting the stock to reach 90 mark.
Okay, 90. What about you, NS?
Well, right now I'm looking at a trend line that is acting as a resistance around 60, and even 200 DEMA is almost coinciding with that trend line. So extreme short term, you can expect a little bit of correction, maybe up to 55. That would be a good opportunity, because what he has suggested, a cup and handle or inverted head and shoulder kind of pattern, it would be a retest of that breakout, and then maybe an opportunity to buy. And if it crosses 60, probably you can see 65, and also 75 is possible in this.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on sale this time around. Obviously, buy on declines, but more like a short-term target that's coming in on sale at this point of time. Kunal has a long-term target of 90 on this count. Again, let's shift from metals, and this time let's talk about the oil marketing companies. NS Fidai has a buy call this time around BPCL this time. OMCs haven't done well of late. What makes you bullish?
Well, these two lines, basically, if you see, this is a very strong support line that has been formed at the bottom, and the another one which is acting as a very strong, earlier was a resistance line. Now both are converging in area around this 340. So I would prefer to buy this stock nearer to this trend line, because that would become a very solid support where you can buy, and the risk would be lowest. Around here, if you buy, your risk would be only 4-5 rupees, just below that. And the upside could be, even if it comes to this area around 360, 375, that would be quite a good risk reward ratio. You are buying at 340 and maybe 35 rupees upside, so that is almost 10%, and the risk is only maybe 1.5% probably. So this is a beautiful pattern. It is also very similar to what we saw in Eicher Motors, making higher bottoms. Okay, very similar. But here this part is very important, because this is acting as a multiple support line. So this is what makes me more bullish on this stock here. And the rally that it had done, so it needed a little bit of cool off. So that's happening, and it is cooling properly. And I would buy right now. I would prefer to buy around 340, between 340 and 345, and keep a stop loss at 333 or somewhere, or 334 should be good enough.
Okay, so you will not buy at this level?
No, not right now.
340?
340 is my area where I would like to
and
buy.
Till what level would you buy? 330?
No, that would be my stop loss. My stop loss would be 334.
334.
So I'm risking only 1.5% on the downside, but my rewards are 10 times.
10%.
Yeah, 10%. Sorry.
Okay, that's the sense. Okay, thank you so much for that, NS. Gaurav, BPCL, would you agree with the strategy of buying on declines, or would you buy now, or what's your strategy?
No, I agree with him. For trading per se, one can buy at the current prices. What we have given to our clients at LQP is that we have recommended 370, 380 call option. It's just advent of a new series, event is over, so one can buy a call option play. It's a last series, so one can keep it till expiry. That can be a good play because it's trading near confluence of averages, whereas 55, 89, 200 DM, it's almost around those levels only. If the current levels are sustained, we can expect technical bounce from the current levels. So on that premise, one can buy. For positional bet, yes, it's always prudent to buy on dips for the reason what he mentioned about trendline supports. I also feel the same. Around 337, 340 is what I would be recommending to go long for a positional bet and keep a stop loss of 330. So that I would agree with that. But if somebody wants to play at the current prices, use the call option. That can be a good sense as well.
Okay, what about you, Kunal? Gaurav is saying call option. What's your sense?
So the way NS highlighted, the trend line support is coming near 350. So buying near 350 and keeping the stop loss of 345, 348 would make sense, because the stock has already fallen right from 410 to almost 350 levels. So a bounce is definitely expected. But from positional perspective, we need to check out whether this 350 mark is taken care of. If yes, then the trend may continue for longer time.
Okay, so that's the sense that's coming in on BPCL, and the last chart of the day, at least from an analyst before Yash again comes back, is on Reliance Industries. Kunal, what makes you bullish on Reliance Industries? Is it a bullish call?
No, it's a bearish call.
Oh, it's a bearish call. Okay.
So I'm taking a Braveheart bet right now. It's a very short-term trend. So we saw the stock has managed to make a cup and handle formation right from the top, which was made here, and from there we can see that the top was taken out decisively with a cup and handle formation. What I can see on the line chart is on the closing basis, the stock is forming the rising wedge pattern. Rising wedge has the range which goes narrowed down. And look at the RSI at that point of time. If we zoom on the RSI, you can see that the prices are making tops, but the RSIs are making lower tops. Okay, if I look at the support trend line of since September till now, that support zone is taken out decisively yesterday itself. And the stock, coming back to the chart again, so the support zone is also taken out. 1360 was a level which is taken out today on the lower side. So keeping those things in mind, I would short the counter near to say 1355, 1360, keeping the stop loss of 1390, not 1390 because that's near to the previous high itself, which will make this pattern invalid. So keeping that stop loss, expecting the stock to reach retesting zone, which is 1315, and below that can be 12.
It's a very short-term target that
it's an absolutely very short-term target.
Okay, that's fair enough. Gaurav, would you agree with his strategy, or you have a different view?
Yeah, as far as the short-term targets are concerned, it can be a trade. You wait for a jump and you sell on rise for the retesting of the breakout levels. It comes around 1330, 1335. That can be a trade, lucrative trade. But at these levels, I would not short. And it has given a strong breakout after a long consolidation. So I don't think there can be a very big fall from the current prices. But yes, for playing for 2-3% on rise of 2% would make sense.
Okay, what about you, NS? Reliance?
Well, I would love to buy this stock on dips around 1290 to 1310, between that area. And on the upside, the stock has faced resistance, as he has already shown it, and the stock can it's running in a band actually. So the upside is limited up to 1435 in extreme short term. But yes, till it holds 1290, you can go long. Below that, there would be more deeper corrections also.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on the final stock, Reliance. And before we end the show, we have Yash Upadhyay standing by with a chart on Torrent Pharma. And remember, for Torrent Pharma, the news that came out was this Form 483 which got disclosed, and that indicated there could be some serious observations on that, Yash. But on the chart, what is it indicating?
Right, so as you mentioned, there is a bit of a negative news flow coming in for Torrent Pharma. Not the most liquid of counters, but the trender indicator on the back of this news is suggesting that there could be a big amount of weakness coming in for Torrent Pharma. So it's currently trading at about 1,859, and the green line over here, which is the trender line, that is within 1% of the stock price. So the trender line is at 1,855. Should it manage to close below the trender line, it would flip its color from green to red. And the beauty of the indicator is that it has given a 100% return. It has had a 100% record in the past, because all 6 times, Darshan, that it has been triggered in the last 1 year, it has given successful returns. So on the downside, you could watch for returns of almost 8.4%, and it has worked all 6 times.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in. It needs to close below the 1855 mark. Gaurav, Torrent Pharma, what are you sensing on the charts?
It has been in the uptrend. It has been one of the consistent gainers. So yes, if it closes below 1850, we can see correction coming in. Again, the quantum might not be very large in my term because a stock that has been in a very strong uptrend, you can't play for a very big reversal sort of, because we have not seen a reversal pattern as such coming in the name. So yes, below 1850, it can fall by a few percentage points, but I would not play for a very large target.
Okay, what about you, Ines?
Yeah, it is showing a bit of means negativity here, as I agree with Yash also here. And I expect the stock to take support around 1810. If it holds there, then it is a good buy at that area, but that would be a low risk area. You should keep a nominal stop loss and you can buy there also. But yes, you can go short, but if it breaks 1810 and starts closing below, then you can even expect 1750 or 1700 also.
Okay, and Kunal, what's your sense?
So now, if I'm looking at the weekly chart, the stock is clearly in uptrend. Short term, definitely the concern is that the stock has made the double top and the stock is falling. On the lower side, if 1775 is taken out on the lower side, the pattern which is getting formed is exactly same as daily pattern on the Reliance, rising wedge with negative divergences. So below 1775, I expect the stock to reach 1385 to 1350 kind of levels.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on the final stock, and that is Torrent Pharma. But with that, we're completely timed out on today's edition of Hot Money. Many thanks to all of my guests, Gaurav, Ines, Kunal. Thank you so much for coming in. Ask BQ comes up next. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quiz.